And welcome to another one of our leadership training videos. Now in these leadership training videos, what I do is I take you over a few minutes through some thoughts and ideas about what I see as the fundamental elements of leadership, and more importantly, how I have used them through my own career and my own life in order to achieve my level of success today. So the idea is to share with you some thoughts about how you can become a more effective leader, how you can improve your skills, your leadership traits, what the qualities are that you need to look for. Whether you're at the beginning of the journey or maybe more experienced, there are just thoughts and ideas for you to use in your daily life, very accessible and hopefully insightful for you. My name is Chris Igwe. I have over 35 years experience leading, training and developing teams across 5 major European markets, but primarily Europe, Middle East and Africa, where I've been successful in my journey. So the topic we're going to take today is one which is fundamental to leadership anyway, which is find the good in others. Now you could say this is about life in general, but as you know, I'm sure, not everybody looks for or wants to find the good in others. We're always looking, we're a generation or a culture worldwide where we look for the bad or the negative in people as opposed to the good. But I just want to remind you that leadership is about finding the best qualities in individuals and helping them to grow, which is why I say finding the good is great. That's a good starting point, especially if you're generally of a negative disposition. You don't want to or don't find the good in people. Find the good in those that you lead, but, and this is a big but, you want to bring the best out of them, because that is what leadership is about. It's about bringing the very, very best out of people, because when they are successful and you bring the best out of them, they serve you even better. So that's the fundamental. Find the good in others, but bring out the best in others, for me, is the key, which is why I put it there in bold. But then you say, well, that's all great, but you know, as a leader, whatever role or position I have, so whether you're chairman of the board, CEO, you have shareholders. They are the ones who want performance. They want the very best to be achieved, and therefore they are not going to give you much of any of these necessarily, but I'll explain to you maybe ways of getting around that. So the challenges are going to be time. I don't have the time to train, develop, nurture, help people grow, bring out the best in them. I've got budgets. I have timing. I have a strategy. I have to deliver in 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 5 years, whatever. I don't have the time to look out and find those individuals who are going to be my success factor for the future. You say, I don't have the patience either, because quite frankly, I want people who are able to lead themselves, push themselves, and all the rest of it. I'm not there to babysit. I'm not there to help them move along. That's a thought. I don't have the patience for it. I didn't have that gift when I was born of having patience. But for those who are parents, whatever our level of parenthood is or our skill set, one of the things that we need are all these actually. Maybe not the last ones, but certainly patience to see your child grow and develop, time to be with them, to support and nurture them. Awareness, very important, especially with those in your team. What is it that they need that they can't express and can't see or don't know, or they don't know how far they can go because they haven't got your leadership 360 vision, hopefully, and see where they can go. But you say, I don't have the awareness of knowing what they need to do. I don't have opportunities to help them grow. This is what they're supposed to do. This is their lane. They've got to stay in it. Anything else is a distraction. I don't want that. And then you say, I don't have the tools anyway. So how can I help them to grow, develop, be the best that they can if they don't have the tools? Well, these are the challenges. But as we know as leaders, challenges are there to be overcome. They're not there to just be accepted and embraced. You continue to struggle to find a way through those. So those are the challenges. And here I thought, well, I'll just share with you some options to kind of counter that thought process that you might have. So what are the approaches? So in the red, these are the ones that I had on the previous flip chart, previous page. So you say, well, I don't have time. Well, you have to make time. There's no other solution. You have to make time. You can't delegate. You could if you want them to be managed, but if you want them to be led and grown in the way in which you see leadership, unless you have somebody who's been with you maybe 10, 20, 30 years, like an assistant coach in a managerial position and the manager and you've worked together, you've moved from club to club or location to location, that may work. But you, because they're the ones they're looking up to, you are the one who have to make the time to nurture them and help them to grow. So you can't just say, I don't have the time. You've got to find the time to make it happen. You might say, well, I don't have patience. Well, you have to invest the energy, work through your own limitations. Take the time, find the time, and be patient, both with yourself and with other people. Now, you may say, well, the pressures from outside are so great, I just don't have the space to do it. Well, that's a whole different thing. That means that you're not managing your time very well, or you're accepting external pressures, which you shouldn't as a leader. You can take it, embrace it, but then channel it out in a positive manner. You may say, well, I don't have the awareness. Well, one of the perhaps simplest ways is to identify the new skills that you believe that individual needs, that he or she doesn't have right now. So maybe they don't have that awareness, or you don't have the awareness of what they need, but through the process of spending time with them, working with them, obviously performance reviews, those kind of things, but not performance reviews once a year, because that's too far apart, to identify new skills for them. You say, well, we don't have opportunities. I want them to stay in this lane. Well, it's up to you to create new projects, new ideas. They can be short-term projects, they can be medium, or they can be long-term. And those projects could simply be anything from a meeting, taking notes, reporting, following through on things. That could be an idea where you discover they have a skill for organization, for follow through, for ability to read what is or hear what is being said in a meeting, make the right notes, and so on. So there's some very simple things that you can do. You don't have to give them a mammoth project. You want to see them grow and perform better. And then you say, well, I don't have the tools for them. Well, that's fairly easy in a sense. That's where you engage with the human resources department and you say, this person or these individuals are those who I see as having potential. I want to see them grow. I want to see them successful. So what are the tools that I need, whether it's internal or external, whether it's training, whether it's support, whether it's technical skills that they might need or platforms they could work with. But those are things that can be done. So whilst you may say these are challenges, they are real opportunities if you just break them down to their simplest form, because your job is to help bring the best out of people. And so what are some of the outcomes that you're going to experience inevitably where you're building people into their new role, new function, and just wanting to see them more and more successful? So you have a career path, you have a plan for them in your program. Well, like I said, and this is fundamental to leadership anyway, it's your job, it's your role. It's not really a job, it's actually part of what you enjoy doing, is to nurture and grow them. Help them to grow into being successful in what they do. Help them to spread their wings. So those new projects, new ideas, maybe that you send them all out on a project where it's out of the office, maybe it's international, they go with somebody else, or it's a different country, it doesn't really matter, different city. You help them spread their wings so that they grow and discover what it looks like to achieve more things, because then you start to see what they're good at and what their abilities are. Now, inevitably, they're going to fall at some stage. Everybody falls. I've fallen, you've fallen, we all fall. But we always need someone there to catch us and help pick us up. So you catch them when they fall. Of course, you have to encourage them as well, because sometimes when you fall, it hurts. You know, you make a wrong decision. You got the wrong budget, the wrong information. Maybe you took the notes, using my example of taking notes in a meeting, which by the way is really important. Not a lot of people do it very well. And not a lot of people necessarily, in my experience anyway, catch the fundamental aspects of meetings. But when you've done it frequently, as I have, you know what to note down and what not to note down. So you encourage them in that journey and in that process as well. Of course, this is an important one. You reprimand them. So when they've stepped out of line, when they've got it wrong, when you've been telling them what to do and they keep making a mistake, they keep falling, you kind of say, you know, you can't keep falling. You need to figure out what the problem is, understand it, deal with it, and come out even stronger. So you reprimand them, you get them back into whatever framework you've given them, but give them the freedom as well to grow. And of course, the final one, just like back to my example of raising children, you need to reward them. We all need rewards, whether we're toddlers, children, adults, whatever. We all need to be rewarded in some way, shape or form. And I did a whole video on rewarding people and celebrating the small wins as well, because some of these might just be little small wins where you say to them, well done, I appreciate what you did there. That was really outstanding. Let's go to the next level and the next stage. So these are all some of the examples to help you as you discover not only how to bring the good out of those that you lead, but how to bring the very best out of them. And this is just a snapshot, a very small element. But once you start to understand it, because I've seen a lot of leaders who don't actually do that, but it's a fundamental part of our role and our responsibility to make sure that we bring the very best out of the teams that we lead. So I hope this has resonated, left you with some thoughts and ideas. Please feel free to like, comment and share, and of course subscribe to the channel so you know when other videos are becoming available. And I look forward to seeing you again very soon. So until then, thank you.